And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're going to say what?
China.
All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what?
China.
All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese.
China.
Russian.
Russia.
Italian.
Italy.
German.
Germany.
Swedish.
Sweden.
Korean.
Korea.
Egyptian.
Egypt.
Nigerian.
Nigeria.
Black.
Exactly. Nothing. Tell him, Pastor. Tell him, Pastor. Black, nothing.
I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue.
The same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black.
There's only one true ethnic Jew, the Mizrahi Jew, because they are Africans, and if you read the original Bible written in Phoenician Hebrew, they're not. Jewish people are not Europeans. The modern Jews in Israel are Russians or Khazars to be precise, from Russia. I learned it from my grandfather that he was because he was an Ashkenazi Jew.
The same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black.
The white man is enacting a story all over the world. We left our homes and flooded the world. We smothered culture. We smothered knowledge. We erased history and rewrote it our way. Myself, my grandfather is 100% Ashkenazi Jewish. Claiming to be Jewish, Ashkenazi Jewish is just a conspiracy. White men claiming to be of tribes of Israel when I'm Germanic. You know, I have no ties to Israel, no ties to Judaism. You know, except loosely written history that's been whitewashed over for centuries. And, you know,
from the Renaissance.
Oh yeah, right. You wipe everything clean. It's funny how exactly the Renaissance. It's this rebirth, but it's white rebirth. I think at the same exact time that Renaissance is happening, Columbus is sailing to America and committing genocide.
The same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black.
I'm so glad you're here because you can bring great clarity. Can you tell us a little bit about the Sephardic Jews and how they were scattered because they went west?
I sure can.
Because the reason why I want to is because a lot of them, and a lot of people don't know this, are in the Caribbean.
They are.
In the islands.
And you're one of them. I know that.
I'm one of them.
I know that.
Because, you know, a lot of folk don't know that those roots are there. One of the first batches of slaves that came to Jamaica, they were the Sephardic Jews. It's documented.
And they're all over the Caribbean, South America, Central America, and even the South Central United States.
Wow.
And DNA testing is a factor in all this now.
Genesis chapter 11, verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you.
Want to say peace and blessings to everyone. Hope all is well with you guys. If my mic sounds okay, type one, or just say yes. I know this is a last minute live that I'm doing here. It's unscheduled. Actually, the last few lives have been unscheduled, but just want to take an opportunity to talk to you guys tonight. All right, appreciate it. Really appreciate it. So far, everyone say my mic sounds good. Had me wanting to do like the old school testing of my mic, with salt and pepper. My mic sounds nice. Check one. My mic sounds nice. Check two. Right. But yeah, definitely appreciate it, everyone. Let's do a couple of shout outs and we're just going to get right into it. I want to say Shabbat Shalom to Stay on Fire Ministries. Want to say Shalom to Alexandria. Really appreciate the love and support. Aniyeki, want to say Shalom to you. Thank you for the love and support. Really appreciate you. Who else do we have here? Tadley, Holiday Farrington. I want to say Shalom to you. Mash Paka, Yahweh Barakatah, Kal, Alaha, Waya, or Halala Waya, Yamin, or Ya Aman. Really appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here tonight, watching the channel. Really appreciate it. Chris Briggs, Shabbat Shalom to you. Victorious Spirit, want to say peace and blessings to you. Shalom to you. True Vine, want to say shalom to you. Yvette Smith, want to say shalom to you as well. Really appreciate the love and support. Wendell Scott, Shabbat Shalom. Peace and blessings to you. Deborah McDowell, want to say peace and blessings to you. Shalom to you. Lemuria Johnson, shalom to you. Who else do we have here? Amiya Yakita, excuse me. Want to say peace and blessings to you. Priscilla Sharp, want to say Shabbat Shalom to you as well. Jay Highstyle, my buddy, want to say peace and blessings to you. Let's see here. Jamaric Brucin, Israel, peace and blessings to you. And family, show some love to my buddy Jay Highstyle. Kemet, peace and blessings to you. Lemuria Johnson, BB, Shalom, Shalom to you as well. Takwef Bakir, want to say peace and blessings to you. Angela Bowden, want to say peace and blessings to you. Don P. Ben Yehuda, want to say peace and blessings to you. The Troll Hunter. All right. Let's see. Who else do we have here? I think I got everyone. And if I don't catch you, I'll catch you when we do some, just take some polls here. So while in wanting, peace and blessings to you. Angela, I think I got you, Angela, but give you another shout out. Who else do we have here? I think I got everyone. Others are popping in, but Mr. Pirate Brain, Andre Bell, want to say peace and blessings to you. Really appreciate it. All right. Let's see here. K Stacks, peace and blessings to you. Shalom to you. Who else do we have here? Top Shelf, want to say shalom to you. And family, if I don't catch you here in the initial shout outs, I will definitely catch you when I post questions, because I like to have a interactive chat. So, but want to say peace and blessings to you, family. Again, I know this is a last minute lesson here, and I just want to just give some clarity here tonight about watch night. I want to give clarity on watch night. I want to get clarity on New Year's, because I'm sure some of you guys have heard of the term Rosh Hashanah, right? And I want to really explain that to you guys and make it clear that New Year's is not Rosh Hashanah, and give clarity on watch night, because in our assembly, we do watch night. We're going to have watch night tomorrow night, watch night service. But I want to make it clear it has nothing to do with celebrating New Year's, right? Israel's New Year's is not coming up until 15 days or 14 days before the Passover. So we got a little time. We're only in the 9th month. So, but again, I want to give clarity and properly explain that, because I know many of you guys are kind of probably confused about, well, what's the New Year's for Israel? What is New Year's? What is watch night? And, should we or should we not, come together on that? And I'll share with you why we do it at our assembly. And I want to make it clear, it has nothing to do with Abraham Lincoln, but I'll show you the atrocities of what occurred to our people and show with facts and sources of what watch night really is. So let's go and get into it, family. Don't want to prolong getting into the lesson. So watch night, the time of anticipation. Watch night, the time of anticipation. And so I want to answer this question here. What is New Year's, right? I really want to answer that question. I gave you a little hint on where I'm going to go at with this portion of it. Is New Year's Rosh Hashanah? And I want to make it clear, no, it's not the biblical Rosh Hashanah. But then at the same time, Rosh Hashanah, what does it mean? Truth be told, all Rosh Hashanah simply means is New Year. That's all it means, the New Year, the beginning or the top of the year. So truth be told, New Year's in Hebrew, in this New Year's that's according to the Gregorian calendar, its term is Rosh Hashanah, right? But this is not something to be celebrated, right? And many, just coming from the Jewish community as we know them, Rosh Hashanah has been made into a festival. And I'm going to show you that it's not. It is not a feast day. It's not a festival of the Most High. So we're going to get clarity here, right? And it makes me think about Daniel, not Daniel, but of course, Daniel chapter 7, verse 25, but Colossians chapter 2, what Paul warned about, and also Amos chapter 5, just a number of places. So let's start with Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. Let's start here. It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Family, I want to make it clear. This has nothing to do with the church. This has nothing to do with the Catholic Church. When you see this word saints, is dealing with the holy people of Israel, right? Quadash, the holy people of Israel. This has nothing to do with a Catholic term, right? And this word was actually created for the Catholic Church, right? So the actual word that should be here, wear out the holy people of Israel. That's what it means, right? And shall wear out the holy people of Israel, right, of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And we're going to go into this a little bit to understand change times and laws. Change times and laws. So many would just go into this text and just highlight Shabbat in the feast days, but it's more than just times. That's why it says think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hands until a time and times and the dividing of times. So the Hebrew definition of wear out, this is what it means. The Hebrew word is bala. It means to fail, to wear out, decay, consume, use up completely. So the whole goal, the agenda of Hashatan and his army, his Hashatan and his ministers, they want to make it so that way Yah's people are so worn out by dealing with situation after situation, event after event. They want you to become so worn out that you just fail, as it says here, to fail, that you just give up. You have no more fight, no fight left within you, to wear out, decay, use up completely. And also, here's the kicker as well, to harass constantly. Aren't we coming up a lot under a lot of scrutiny? Aren't we being harassed with the lies from the ADL and some of the other groups that are out there? My cousin Benaiah Israel did a great job of exposing the ADL, Green Bart. I mean, what's his name? I can't remember his full name. Jonathan Green Bart or whatever his name is, the CEO. Blatant lies on the Breakfast Club about the two shooters in Jersey City, tried to say that they were part of the Hebrew Israelite community, which they were not part of any camp. I'm not part of a camp, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and allow anyone knock or lie against any of the camps either, right? Because I remember when that whole Jersey City thing went down, I posted on this channel as well. The attorney made it clear that the guys were they were not connected to any camp, right? They were not affiliated with any camp, right? That's the Jersey City situation. Then he also told a lie about, the supposed rise of Semitism and how a so-called brother man shot BB guns at a Jewish person. And that was a complete lie. It was a Jewish person who did that to another Jewish person. So blatant lies to harass constantly. He has mastered lying publicly, and many people take it and run with it. Just like we're going to do a live, I'm not going to do it tomorrow night, but I may even put together a short discussion video about him agreeing with Whoopi Goldberg. But that's a whole nother discussion. So the ADL has been harassing our community. The church has been harassing our community. These people have been harassing our community with lies upon lies upon lies, deception upon deception upon deception. Get called out over and over again. Right? I would love to have a discussion with the ADL guy. I would love to have a discussion with them. See, he could go on to the Breakfast Club and places because he knows that they don't know the history. They don't have a clue about the history of what it means, in a lot of these situations. So that's why he's making these rounds, on those that are already in the pocket. Come on these type of channels. Come on this channel, ADL CEO. Let's see if you could bring that stuff here. Let's see if you could bring those blatant lies here. Blatant lies. Blatantly lied on our community, not once, but twice and multiple times in that interview. So again, to harass constantly, right? We under a constant harassment. So Rosh Hashanah, what is Rosh Hashanah? And family, if you celebrate Rosh Hashanah, right? If you celebrate Rosh Hashanah back in, normally it's around between the middle of September towards the end of September, around that time frame. If you celebrate Rosh Hashanah, guess what? This is not biblical. That's not the biblical New Year's for Israel. And Israel already have a set of instructions on what they to do on the Hebrew New Year, right? What to look out for. Right. So what is Rosh Hashanah? We're going to answer this question. Should you guys be celebrating it? No. But let's see what Rosh Hashanah is. Right. Starting with this Hebrew letter right here. In ancient Hebrew, it's pronounced Ra'ash. Right. In the Israeli language is Resh. Right. So as you can see, this letter means head, top, rank, beginning. Numerical value is 200. So Ra'ash, right? And notice the head, have an afro, brother man with an afro, right? But almost look like a fist as well, but an afro, right? So head, top, rank, beginning, right? So Ra'ash or Resh, but Ra'ash, notice that's how they pronouncing it, right? Ra'ash or Rash, right? Means head, top, rank, beginning. So beginning, Shana, year. So this is the Hebrew word Shana. I just gave you the answer. Teeth, tool, right? This is what each letter means. The Shan means teeth, tool, right? The Non, seed, continual, perpetual. And then you see the Ha, which means reveal. All right. Uncover, open. Okay. Just giving you letter for letter breakdown of that word. Shana, which means year, right? Rosh Hashanah, beginning or top year, or Rosh Ha, right? The article that's there, right? Definite article. Rosh Hashanah simply means beginning the year, top of the year, basically top the year. All right. So this is a little history on Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, is one of Judaism's holiest days, meaning head of the year, which is what we just covered. First of the year, the festival begins on the first day of Tishrei, the seventh month of the Hebrew calendar, which falls during September or October, right? When did the seventh month become the beginning of the new year for Israel? Rosh Hashanah, because if you read Exodus chapter 1, that declaration that the Most High made to Israel, right? This shall be the first of months to you in Exodus chapter 12. That wasn't during the seventh month, right? But anyway, the Jewish New Year is one of Judaism's holiest days, meaning head of the year or first of the year. The festivals begin on the first day of Tishrei, the seventh month of the Hebrew calendar, which falls during September or October. Rosh Hashanah commemorates commemorates the creation of the world and marks the beginning of the day of the days of awe, which is not in the scriptures, a 10-day period of introspection and repentance that culminates in the Yom Kippur holiday, also known as the Day of Atonement. Right? That days of awe, that's not biblical. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are the two high holy days in the Jewish religion, right? Yom Kippur, that's the Day of Atonement, right? Because Kippur or Kapar, right? That is that word means atonement. Yom, right? Day. Yawam in ancient Hebrew, Yom, day, right? But Rosh Hashanah, that's not a high holy day. It's not. It's not a high holy day, right? There is a day of repentance, all right? And that is, as you see here, Yom Kippur, all right? So it says here, Rosh Hashanah is not mentioned in the Torah. And what this means is the celebration, what we see today. It is not mentioned in the scriptures, even though that term is in the scriptures, but Rosh Hashanah is not mentioned in the scriptures. Judaism's founding religious text and appears under different names in the Bible. Though the holiday was likely well established by the 6th century BC, the phrase Rosh Hashanah, now this wasn't established, family. This is not biblical. This is dealing with fables. This is dealing with creating holy days, high holy days, so to speak. The phrase Rosh Hashanah shows up, didn't put it all in here, but you get the gist of it, family. But the key is it's not mentioned in Torah as far as this holiday, right? This so-called high holy day. But the phrase is in Torah. Let me show you. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Right? Let's show you here. Well, actually, I'm not going to go there yet, but let me give you another source real quick. This is coming from Times of Israel Drazen, who also wrote this here, just in case anyone that may be trolling, right? Rosh Hashanah is not a biblical holiday. Let me say that again, because sometimes it's hard for many of us to really take this all in with what I'm stating here. Rosh Hashanah is not a biblical holiday. It's not a biblical holiday, family, contrary to what many have been taught and believe.
What?
Because you even have some within this awakening that honors and celebrates Rosh Hashanah. It is not biblical.
What?
So have you ever wondered why Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are not highlighted in the Torah as pilgrimage holidays, as Passover, Shavuot, or Shavuot, or Sukkot are, right? Why those are highlighted, but we don't see these as a pilgrimage day, which I believe it's in Deuteronomy chapter 16, right about verse 16, that deals with the three pilgrimage high holy days, feast days. So this is because neither Rosh Hashanah nor Yom Kippur are biblical holidays. Both replace biblical holidays and are notably different from the holidays they replace. The biblical holiday Yom Teruah, which was replaced by Rosh Hashanah, had a totally different purpose than Rosh Hashanah, which focuses on the onset of a new year, repentance, commitment to live the next year. So That's what they state about it. Here's one more Jewish source, right? Rosh Hashanah wasn't always the new year, right? It says here, Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year. The day of the Hebrew calendar begins, but that wasn't always the case. In fact, the ancient Hebrews, this is their opinion here, but it says probably, that's not definitive, had no concept of when the year started. Yes, they did. It's in the scripture at all. Nor did they give the month's name, which is correct. You don't see names of months during the time of Moses. I touched on this before. You see him say first month, second month, or same thing with days of the week, right? So when you hear someone say Abib is not the beginning of the new year. It's not the first month of the new year for Israel. That is a season, like saying spring. So nor did they give the months names. Torah merely enumerating them, the first month, the seventh month, right? On the other hand, the first of Tishrei, in other words, to celebrate it as Rosh Hashanah nowadays, is mentioned as a holiday, albeit a very minor one. It is in no way a celebration of the New Year's, quite contrary. So this is giving you more information on that. But here it says a memorial blowing of the trumpets and holy convocation. So we see the blowing of the trumpets. This is all in the seventh month. Leviticus 23, you could really get clarity on this. So the Bible does not list any special practices for the holiday beyond trumpets and sacrificing some animals, though fewer than were sacrificed on the two major holidays, Passover and Sukkot. No specific reason is given for the blowing of the trumpets. Again, we could go into the scriptures about this. I'm not going to teach about the blowing of the trumpets tonight, but we'll do it another time. But Ezekiel chapter 40, verse 1. Let's see here. I'm going to show you here that term, as you see here in ancient Hebrew, Ra'ash Hashanah. So we see that Rosh Hashanah, we see it here, right? But it's not a celebration like what has been made of the Rosh Hashanah and the seventh month. Here you see here in the 5 and 20th year of our captivity, in the beginning, Ra'ash of the year, Shana. So this is just highlighting the beginning of the year. But you don't see a celebration here. You don't see the stuff that you see occurring today. So the first Hebrew calendar month, as we see here, this is me reconstructing the calendar years ago. And this is based off of 2021. As far as when you get into the Gregorian calendar, this is just breaking down the different times, not getting into all of that. This is the month from last year when I lined everything up, but not getting into all of this, right? So how important is the seventh month? I could break that down, but family, I don't want to get into all of this because this is a whole nother discussion. This is dealing with the ark rested on the seventh month. We know the Shabbat is on the seventh month, but I'm not going to get into all of this. I want to just skip down. Let's skip down. Let's get into some other stuff because I know it's kind of late. I am kind of tired, but I did want to do a brief lesson here tonight. So let's go to fast forward. Let's go down to here. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 36 through 37. It says, Yahweh will drive you and the king you have set over you to a nation unknown to you, and your fathers, where you shall serve other deities of wood and stone. Verse 37, and you shall be a consternation, a proverb, and a byword among all the people to which Yahweh will drive you. So I want you to think about this term Negro, right? I want to show you just how that word Negro, while many of our ancestors, I know my grandmother didn't like using the term Negro, right? And actually, Negro was used synonymous to nigger, right? To nigger, right? Even though nigger was not a derogative term at one time, but now it's been made into a derogative term. All right. So yeah. So again, let me show you a little source here about the word Negro in this country. Right. Let's see 1818. Notice what this says here. This is Negro Law of South Carolina. Section 1, Act of 1740, Section 1 declares all Negroes and Indians, right? And then that's what gets into breaking this down. Free Indians in enmity with the government, Negroes, mulattoes, mestizos or mestizos or whatever, who now are free and accepted, right? But it goes on to say to be slaves, right? The offsprings to follow the condition of the mother, and that's such slaves are chattel. In other words, cattle, personal. But let's go to a key thing here, right? We see the color is prima facie evidence that the party bearing the color of a Negro, mulatto, or mestizo is a slave, right? But but the same prima facie results does not follow from the Indian color. But this is what I want to get here. Section 4. The term Negro is confined to slave Africans, right? In other words, the ancient Berbers and their descendants, right? But notice here, the term Negro here in this country is defined as a slave, right? It wasn't this thing that we see today. It was here. They used this word to highlight that we are slaves, right? The ancient Berbers and their descendants, it does not inhabitants of Africa, such as the Egyptians, Moors, or the Negro Asiatics, such as the Lascars. All right. So we see the derogative term of the word Negro and how it's used, but it's really a positive word. But this is another thing I want to highlight here, based off of Deuteronomy. Mammy's little alligator bait. Mammy's little alligator bait. You know, and look at this. Look at these words here. Come on, show me what group of people that have gone through this. We still going through the curses that's highlighted, or the consequences that's highlighted in Deuteronomy 28. Not a single community that proclaimed to be in the people of the book are going through any of those curses or consequences. But these are actual songs that was written about us that's confirming the prophecies of Deuteronomy. Hushabye, don't you cry. Mammy's little pickaninny going to get a present mighty soon, when them stars am a peeping and the moon it am a creeping. Then your mammy's going to sing this tune. Shut your eye, by and by. Man will whip you if you cry. Someone am a coming through the gate. Go to sleep, don't you peep. Listen to me tell you, use mammy's alligator bait. Come on, family. For those that try to come up with the nonsense and saying that, this wasn't factual, this wasn't true. Yes, they were using our children for alligator bait. You can look it up. It was in the newspaper. Matter of fact, the Florida Gators got rid of the song, the Gator song, because it was referring to that. It was, so that happened, a few years back. Mammy's little alligator bait was actually a play. Look at this here. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. Right? Courtesy of the Library of Congress. Look at what you see here. The black face of our kids, the alligator here. Mammy's little alligator bait. Come on. And these words, this is coming straight from the Library of Congress. I downloaded this from there years ago. Right? From online. Went to that library online. Can't get around this, family. Show me what group of people have these type of songs about them. Show me one. So Zephaniah chapter 3, 17 through 20, this is what it said. Key prophecy. Your Yahweh Elohim is in your midst, a warrior who brings triumph. He will rejoice over you and be glad. He will shout over you with jubilation. He will soothe with his love. Right? Those long disconsolate, I will take away from you the woe over which you endure mockery. Are we not enduring mockery right now? Are we not enduring mockery right now? The Most High said there's going to come a time he's going to come and take, as you see, I will take away from you the woe over which you endure mockery. We're still dealing with mockery even to this day, right now. At that time, I will make an end of all who afflicted you. So the Most High is going to have vengeance on us, family, and I will rescue the lame, in other words, sheep, and gather the strayed, and I will exchange their disgrace for fame. Now, all the humiliation, the bywords that was created to really humiliate us. He said, I will exchange their disgrace for fame and renown in all the earth. And at that time, I will gather you. And at that time, I will bring you home, for I will make you renowned and famous among all the peoples of the earth, when I restore your fortunes before their very eyes, said Yahweh. See, there's a movement that the Most High is going to do. There's a shifting the Most High is going to do. There's an accountability he's going to hold for all those that went overboard with the judgments. See, family, one thing that's one of my pet peeves is every time I post something, right, especially about the what's happening, what we are being subjected to from this government or other communities or whatever the case may be, we always got to have someone from our community with Stockholm syndrome to post, well, our ancestors sent before us, we wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't been for our ancestors. We got what we deserve. Stop it with that Stockholm syndrome nonsense. We know that our ancestors made some poor decisions, but stop always using a but every time someone make a try to speak positive and try to expose the agendas that we're being subjected to. That's Stockholm syndrome right there. Zechariah chapter 1 and 2 makes it clear that the Most High is going to pass judgment. He's going to take judgment, take action against the nations that he have allowed to bring Israel to captivity as a form of discipline, but they went overboard with that. We hear that, we see that in the scriptures. The Most High always used another country to discipline Israel. But the key is when those countries go overboard. So the Most High has a judgment for that. So we don't need to be reminded every time we speaking against those that are oppressing our communities. Oh, our ancestors did this, so we deserve it. Man, stop it. Lose me with that Stockholm syndrome. Lose me with that whole cognitive dissonance nonsense. I don't want to hear that every time I post something about the opposition or about the adversary, about those that are coming against our community. We got our old people always trying to, that Stockholm syndrome nonsense. Lose me with that. I don't have time for that, family. And you should not entertain that stuff as well. So Deuteronomy 28, 49, 53, notice what this says. Yahweh will bring a nation against you from far from the end of the earth, from afar, from the end of the earth, which will swoop down like the eagle. Doesn't that sound familiar? And a nation whose language you do not understand. Come on, family. Doesn't this prophecy sound familiar? Like an eagle, the characteristics of an eagle. Guess what? Look at what Great Britain did to our people. Look at what the United States at the time they were part of Great Britain. Look at all what they did to our people. Look at what the Jewish community today, as we know them, has done to our people. And they should be at the front row, at the top of the chart, with us demanding reparations. How come we keep letting them off the hook? Guess what? They made buku money off of our ancestors. They were the ones that did a lot of the financing, using us as collateral, doing all kinds of things, established the banking system off the backs of our ancestors. I taught this before. Why do we keep letting them off the hook? How come we're not demanding reparations from them? Come on, we got to be real about it, fam. We should be demanding reparations from them, from the Catholic Church, from Christianity, all these religious systems, including Islam, right? We should be demanding reparations from each one of these groups. Come on, family. We can't candy coat this thing. We are owed reparations from the Jewish community. We are owed reparations. They established generational wealth off our community, off of the transatlantic world war. So Yahweh will bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, which will swoop down like the eagle, a nation whose language you do not understand, right? Makes me think of Isaiah chapter 28, when the Most High said he was going to use a foreign tongue to confirm its truth, right? A language that's not ours. This English language is not our heritage. This is not our language. This is the language. This is the heritage of those that are oppressing us. It says a ruthless nation that will show no mercy, that will show the old no regard and the young no mercy. Aren't we seeing that happening in our community? Older people are being shot down, being gunned down from the oppressors, from the law enforcement, as well as the young people. A ruthless nation that will show the old no regard and the young no mercy. It shall devour the offspring of your cattle and the produce of your soil. So they taking everything from our labor to our family. They are taking advantage of us every kind of way. Think about what happened during the sharecropping, how they were hustling our people, doing all the work. We're doing all the work. But look at how they hustled us. It shall devour your offspring of your cattle and the produce of your soil until you have been wiped out, leaving you nothing of new grain, wine, oil, of the calving of your herd. So we see this happening. It's still happening. Come on, family. Show me what other group of people are going through this. That's like the eagle. Right? The United States is not the eagle, but they're like the eagle. They like the characteristics of the eagle, right? That's the symbol, right? A ruthless nation that will show the old no regard and the young no mercy. Come on, family. We're dealing with this right now. And the lambing of your flocks until it has brought you to ruin. It shall shut you up in all your towns throughout your land until every mighty towering wall in which you trust has come down. Doesn't it sound like Black Wall Street? Doesn't it sound like Red Summer or Blood Summer? It shall shut you up in all your towns throughout your land until every mighty towering wall in which you trust has come down. Come on, family. Doesn't it sound like when we start thinking about what happened during the Red Summer? Over 3 dozen of our communities, the government, right, declared war on our communities, bombed them, used all kind of heavy duty military artillery, grenades, you name it, Gatling guns. Come on, family. That the Lord that Yahweh Elohim has assigned to you. You shall eat of your own issue, the flesh of your sons and daughters that Yahweh Elohim has assigned. Lo, man, they were doing all kinds of stuff to our ancestors. Man, not even getting into the cannibalism. There's a couple of things you're going to highlight later on when we get there, but they were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Because of the desperate straits to which your enemy shall reduce you. Family, let's get into this New Year's, right? Let's get into this New Year's stuff. December 31st is not the original New Year's Eve, right? Let me say this again. This New Year's Eve that we see here, this is not the original New Year's Eve. Let me say that again. I hope y'all grab hold of this. This December 31st is not the original New Year's Eve. It's not. It's not. Well, what is the original New Year's Eve? Well, the original New Year's Eve was actually called Fat Tuesday. Fat Tuesday is connected to Ash Wednesday. So guess what? Ash Wednesday, is connected to the Roman New Year. That's the actual original New Year for the Romans, the Egyptians and all. But the Roman Catholic Church and many of the churches still honor those holidays from those other communities, those cultures, those from paganism. Fat Tuesday is connected to Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday, this alleged Christian festival, was taken from Roman paganism, which in turn took it from Vedic India. Ashes were called the seed of the fire god Agni, which power to absolve all sins, even if a man does 1,000 things that one ought not to do. By bathing in ashes, he will cause all of that to be burnt to ashes as fire burns a forest with this energy. Another source said ashes stood for the purifying blood of Shiva, right? Shiva, in which one could bathe away sins as Christians bathe in the blood of the Lamb. At Rome's New Year Feast of Atonement in March, people wore sackcloth and bathed in ashes to atone for their sins. This is where you get Ash Wednesday. This is where you get that little ashes that you putting on. Some of you guys, hopefully you guys not doing it, but in the church, Catholic Church, putting ashes on their foreheads and all that other stuff. This stuff, it has nothing to do with the biblical text. These are things coming out of The Babylonian community, the Romans community, the Greeks. This is not something of the Most High. Then, as now, New Year's Eve was a carnival of eating, drinking, and sinning on the theory that all sins would be wiped out the following day. This is why we get the behaviors that we see today, right? Because many are going to go out tomorrow night, many and just do whatever, just people waking up and I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to get into the details, right? So that's what this is coming from. That New Year's Eve today is the New Year's Eve of the Romans, the Greeks. This is exactly how they celebrated it. Drinking, right? Eating, drinking, and sinning on the theory that all sins will be wiped out the following day, right? Fell on the Dies Martis, in other words, the day of Mars. In English, this was Tuesday because Mars was identified with the Saxon god too, right? In French, the carnival day was Mardi Gras, in other words, Fat Tuesday, the day of merrymaking before Ash Wednesday. All right. So in French, the carnival day was Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, the day of merrymaking before Ash Wednesday. And then when we deal with the Vedic god Agni, just real quick, this is the Vedic god. This is Agni right here. This is Agni right here, right? Fire god wedded to Kali, right? That's where you get the Kali dance of death, right? Under her name, Ambika, little mother, she represented the primal ocean of blood from which all things arose at creation. He represented the fructifying fire from heaven. In other words, lightning. The combination meant vital heat. Vedic sages said the soul of all the universe moving and still is made. Right. So this is just giving you all some information on Agni, but notice what it says here. He was a prototype of such Indo-European fire bringers as Lucifer, Prometheus, Etana, Hephaestus, and Hercules. So what is watch night? What is watch night? Mashmar la yala, right? What is watch night? What is watch night? What is watch night? All right. What is watch night? Just looking at the time here. Let's see what Merriam-Webster Dictionary say about it. It says here, a devotional service lasting until midnight, especially on New Year's Eve. So is watch night a December 31st devotional service? Well, let's see what Huffington Post have to say about watch night. It says this: in the Black church in America symbolizes the historical fact that on the night, December 31st, 1862, during the Civil War, free and freed Blacks living in the Union states gathered at churches and or other safe spaces, while thousands of their enslaved Black sisters and brothers stood, knelt, and prayed on plantations and others holding sites in America, waiting for President Abraham Lincoln to sign the Emancipation Proclamation into law. The Emancipation Proclamation legally recognized that the Civil War was fought for slavery. All right. So this is making or trying to get us to believe that our ancestors on watch night, the significance of it is the anticipation of being free, waiting for the savior, so to speak, Abraham Lincoln, to come and free us from bondage. Come on, that's not his whole intentions. So let's see what the Encyclopedia Britannica say about watch night. It says watch night, also called Freedom's Eve, Christian religions held on New Year's Eve and associated in many African American churches with a celebration and remembrance of the Emancipation Proclamation, right? Just what we talked about, which freed slaves in the Confederate States during the American Civil War. Right. So, and it goes on to say many mainline Protestant churches in the United States sponsor a watch night service on New Year's Eve. The traditional watch night may be traced to the early 18th century in Moravian, excuse me if I butcher this word here, Moravian churches, when churchgoers began marking the occasion with a vigil. So this is just giving us some supposed history of watch night, Okay. But was the Negroes truly waiting for President Lincoln to sign the Emancipation Proclamation into law? I'm going to tell you no. History.com quotes, this is what they say about the Emancipation Proclamation, the truth behind it. It says here, on September 22nd, soon after the Union victory at Antietam, he issued a preliminary Emancipation Proclamation declaring that as of January 1st, 1863, all slaves in the rebellious states shall be thenceforward and forever free. While the Emancipation Proclamation did not free a single slave. That's what we need to understand, family. That part. It says here, while the Emancipation Proclamation, it did what? It did not free a single slave. Let me read it one more time. The Emancipation Proclamation did not free a single slave. It is important. I didn't put it all in here, but it didn't free a single slave. So what was President Lincoln's true position on slavery? Let's see what it is. Since many look at him as being had done something so great for our people, slavery was an unqualified evil to the Negro, while, the white man and the state said Abraham Lincoln in the 1850s, right? So again, slavery was an unqualified evil to the Negro, the white man, and the state, said Abraham Lincoln in the 1850s. Yet in his first inaugural address, Lincoln declared that he had no purpose, directly or indirectly, to interfere with slavery in the states where it exists. So basically, in a nutshell, he said what he wanted to say to get elected, because it said an unqualified evil to the Negroes. That's what he said about slavery. But yet he said in his inaugural address, no purpose, directly or indirectly, to interfere with slavery in the states where it exists. So he didn't have a care in the world for abolishing slavery. To Congress on July 4th, 1861, when the Civil War was 3 months old. What explains this apparent inconsistency in Lincoln's statement? And how did he get from his pledge not to interfere with slavery to a decision a year later to issue an emancipation? So what was President Lincoln's true thoughts about us? What was his true thoughts, family? Let me show you his true thoughts. I would say then that I am not nor ever have been in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races, that I am not nor ever have been in favor of making voters or jurors of Negroes, nor of qualifying them hold office, nor to intermarry with white people. And I will say, in addition to this, that there is a physical difference between the white and black races, which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together on terms of social and political equality. And in as much as they cannot so live, while they do remain together, there must be the position of, right? So he didn't care about us, of superior and inferior. And as much as any of her man am I in favor of having here, man, I can't, that look like a typo here. But anyway, he's making it clear that he wanted to make sure that, as you see here, the superior position assigned to the white race, he wanted to make sure we was on the low end of the totem pole, right? Our Republican system was meant for a homogeneous people. He declared as long as the Negroes continue to live with the whites, they would constitute a threat to national security. Family life might also collapse, and the increase of mixed breed bastards might someday challenge the supremacy of the white man. Challenge the what of the white man? The supremacy of the white man. This is Abraham Lincoln. Was all about the supremacy of the white man, his people. Come on, family. But yet many of our brothers and sisters, all up in the Democrats, all up in the Republicans, same bird with two different wings on the same bird. All right. Family life might also collapse in the increase of, as you see here, right? So where the end. So were the enslaved Negroes, was our ancestors waiting on Abraham Lincoln to bring them salvation? What are they waiting for him? Right? Because when you read about how they teach about Abraham Lincoln, it makes you think about Christopher Columbus, right? His era, right? The era of Christopher Columbus, right? He discovered absolutely nothing. He had an encounter, but discovered nothing. But not a discovery. He had encounter of people that he never saw before, met before, right? But he did not discover anything. He was an adventurer, an opportunist, a willful murderer, a liar, pedophile. And what he set in motion was the basis of Western capitalism, the exploitation of both African and indigenous Americans who had committed no crimes against Europe and did not know of European intention to conquer and enslave them. Travelers from the great African empire of Mali in 1300s reported that the king of Mali told them of two expeditions with hundreds of boats sent from Africa west to the great Oceanus, right? Ethiopicus, right? The Atlantic Ocean. So this is the Atlantic Ocean was initially called the Ethiopian Ocean. So the eighth, right, really comes when we say Atlantic, right? It's actually eighth, right? Eighth Atlantic, right? Which means, as we see here, connecting to the Ethiopians, which was called the Ethiopian Ocean. All right. So we see here there was physical evidence of a settlement dating back to the year the 10th century. All right. So, but this is the key right here. Christopher Columbus never set foot on North America nor South America. He set in motion a concept called divine right and manifest destiny, meaning in the name of God, right? That's what it simply means here. In the name of God, they had the right, and they had, as you see here, and because they had ships and basic technology, they had the right to go into other people's countries and exploit their resources and take their women, rape them at will, and use their babies as baits. Come on, family. Come on, family. Christopher Columbus' era is what set in motion the following thoughts about Africans and indigenous Americans. The myth of a people waiting in darkness for another people to bring them light. Come on, family. They needed the indigenous to Puerto Rico and some of those. They needed them to survive. But yet they supposedly bringing salvation. That we were in darkness before we came across or had any interaction with them. There's an ongoing theme that the Negroes are waiting for salvation to be brought to them by the so-called civilized world. All right. We already going through this. I'm not going to go through Second Thessalonian. So we already understand, family. I'm gonna have to stop right here. I had to stop right here. I want to go a little further. I may have to continue on tomorrow because actually I'm not feeling too good right now. I think I ate something. I'm starting to feel a little queasy right now. So just started feeling this way over the past 30 minutes. So I'm not feeling well right now, family. I'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow night, and we'll continue this tomorrow night, or we'll just table this for next weekend because I'm not feeling well tonight right now. I think I ate something and it's not sitting well on my stomach. But be on the lookout for Road to Savannah. The movie is done. It is done. It is done, family. The Road to Savannah is done. And now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to debate whether or not if I want to release it tomorrow night or next weekend. So I may just for especially for my Patreon family, what I may do is post the video on Patreon, have a sneak peek on Patreon first for all the Patreon family, because I know I haven't really had an opportunity to do much on Patreon as of late, but I want to bless you guys or something. So I may premiere the Road to Savannah, have a sneak peek on the Patreon, and then from there, we'll release it to everyone. So I may do it on Patreon initially for the Patreon family. So, but yeah, appreciate it, family. Pray for the brother. Like I said, I'm just feeling a little queasy. I was trying to press through it, but I think it's something that I ate that's just not sitting well. And, I'm really feeling queasy right now. I was trying to press through it, but got a little ways to go with this presentation. But family, keep the brother in prayer. And I pray that you guys enjoy your Shabbat. And as Moses, right, said to the children of Israel, he said to them when they were in doubt and was ready to go back to Egypt, he said to them, he said, hey, in Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 to 14, he said, fear ye not, stand still, see the salvation of Yahweh. These Egyptians that you see here today, right, they will not have power over you ever again. The Most High will fight for you. But the key, family, we have to hold our peace. Family, we have to hold our peace. We have to know how to utilize calculated silence, right? We have to be calculated in our in being silent, right? Let me zip my shirt up here. All right. We have to be calculated in our silence. So the Most High will fight for you. But here's the kicker, family. We have to hold our peace, right? Can't go back. Family, we can't stay here. And guess what? According to the word of encouragement from Moses, we have to keep moving forward. Shalom.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11, verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14, verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was the... Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10.